I found this wood riser from Target for $5. And if you can't find this exact one, I feel you can recreate this. And I'm going to start by using these window clings that I grabbed from Christmas Tree Shop. I just love this wreath one. It was very pretty with all of the glitter and different colors. And I'm going to lay the wood riser flat down and just trace around the circle of the wood riser and then cut on my window cling so that the wreath part is the same diameter as my wood riser. I'm going to use my amazing Clear Cast 2-part clear coating and casting resin. I get this from Michael's, and there's a side A and a side B. Now when I measure my epoxy, I like to put it in these plastic cups because they have the lines on them. So I'm going to start with side A, and I'm going to find a line inside the cup, and I'm going to fill it to that line. Depending on how much I need will depend on which line I go to. And then I'm also going to pour the side B in a second cup. And now once I have equal parts, I'm going to mix them together. Now if you have one big measuring cup, you do not have to do the two separate sides. You can mix it all together, but it's just very important that you get the same amount of equal parts or it will not cure properly. And I'm going to mix that really well. Depending on the brand will depend on how long you should mix it for. And then I'm just going to pour a very small amount onto my wood riser. I do not want a lot. I just kind of want it touching the surface just a little bit. And I'm going to rub that over. Make sure you have gloves on while you're doing this, and you want to be in a well-ventilated area with a good mask. I'm just using this wooden dowel to put inside the hole, so if epoxy pours in, I can still have a hole that works. Before the epoxy dries, I'm going to lay down my window cling. Now I needed something for the window cling to cling to since it is not glass, so that's why I put a very small amount of the epoxy down first. And then I'm going to lay the saran wrap in my brayer, and this is just going to help make it nice and flat, get rid of any big bubbles. You may have a couple small ones here and there, but I tried to push them towards the end so that they hide underneath the design. And then I'm going to remove the saran wrap. I like the saran wrap, it just kind of makes it easier to work with while eliminating the bubbles. And then I'm going to take the rest of my epoxy and pour it on top. Now again, you do not need a lot of this, and I have the wood riser sitting on a silicone mat. Epoxy peels off of silicone, so whenever working with it, I always make sure I have a silicone mat underneath my project. And epoxy is also self-leveling, so I want to put a decent amount on, but I don't really want it pouring over the edges. And then this will cure overnight. I do like to take a small amount of alcohol. I have alcohol in the spray bottle, and I just spray it on top of the epoxy. It helps also eliminate bubbles. I got this fondant mold from Hobby Lobby, and it's just like a little silicone mold, and I'm going to add gold glitter into the remaining amount of epoxy that I had, and I'm going to use this fondant mold to make some leaves using the epoxy. So again, you just want to fill it and it will level out. You do not want to put too much because once it starts overflowing, you will have yourself a mess. And then I'm going to allow that to dry overnight as well. So I allowed everything to dry, everything cured really well. And I just love the colors in this. And I'm going to pop out the leaves from the mold here. And I'm only going to use 2 of the 3. And I'm going to glue a piece of jute on the back side of the leaf. And I'm going to do this to 2 of the leaves. And you can make this as long or as short as you want. I would say I left my jute about 2 inches long. And I'm going to glue them to the top of the wooden riser on the handle and just wrap some jute around it. and then I'll glue that on the back side so that it holds it in place. So that jute on the top handle here covered the jute that the leaves are hanging from. Now you can leave this as a wood riser, or you can also add a piece of jute onto the back top legs, and I just held that in place with my handheld stapler, and then you can also hang it on the wall. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Paint products, tissue paper, transfers, and mesh stencils can all be found on our webpage at chalkitupfancy.com. And don't forget, you can also check out other tutorials on our webpage as well. Have a great day.